Cool. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Oh, let me get rid of that. All right. There we go. We're live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Game Week 2's FPL podcast. Game Week 1 is done and dusted. And the premium midfielders did deliver. And Bruno and Salah, even though they cost about a quarter of our budget, they delivered about half of our points. And Game Week 1 started off pretty strong with, I think, all three of the managers right here are pretty happy with their scores, I would say. Pretty high scoring game week as well, where you could get 90 points and you probably won't be in the 1 million as well, top 1 million. So that's the kind of game week we had. So let me introduce my guest or co-host today. So I've got Rushant, who's back, and then I've got Abin as well, who's back as well. All of us kind of hit really good scores, I would say, but we'll discuss into it a bit more later. How you guys been?
Yeah, not bad.
Good, man. Thanks. How are you?
Great first week of football. It's so good to see all the fans back in. I stayed up late to watch a few of the matches. It was a good one, especially us first United fans. So.
Oh yeah, that was the first game. Was pretty
Yeah.
good. All right. So before we move on, we are partnered with Fantasy Football Scout, and all the data you get here is from Fantasy Football Scout, the members area. They are running a 20% discount right now, which I think is ending this week. So if you still want to get into the members area, go check it out. You do get like a transfer planner, and you also can see various stats in terms of how the teams performed. And we'll be having a look as well into some of today's stats as well, which you can get on the Fantasy Football Scout members area. Link is in the description. Use it. It helps the channel. So yeah, thank you. All right. So today's agenda, we're going to start with the managers teams, which we look at usually. And then we're going to go into home advantage, which I think was kind of evident this season. And I mean, the first game week, to see whether home advantage is kind of like actual thing, or is it just the first game week that was like that. Then we'll look at the teams to target, the teams to kind of have in your team as well, the players that you might want to have. We'll look at the Game Week 2 season ticker and any price changes that we're expecting in the next few days. We'll look at some of the mini leagues. We'll look at Football Chatbox mini league, and also maybe the Europe's most wanted one that we have within ourselves. And then we'll finally end with the combined managers panel team. So this podcast will be on Spotify as well today. So if you're listening on Spotify, thank you. Hit the follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We passed 50 subscribers yesterday, which is pretty good. So let's try and hit the next target as 75 subscribers. I know you guys can do it. Hit the subscribe button. So let's start off. I'll go first. I went on 101 points. Pretty happy with myself. Rank of 316, which I think is pretty good. The only ones who didn't deliver at all were Sanchez, Soufal, and Shaw. And with Soufal and Shaw, I'm not too worried, because I think they will deliver returns over the next few weeks. With Sanchez, well, every other goalkeeper kind of also lost their clean sheet, so I'm like, yeah, it is what it is, so not too bothered. But yeah, I was speaking to Rushant during the United game, and I was like, there's no way Salah is kind of like going to be able to get this goal, man, that Fernandes got, and we're going to be put to the mud by all the Bruno captainers. But then Salah, what a legend he is, came, got 2 assists, a goal, and I was like, phew, it's not equal to Fernandes, but it was good enough to reduce the damage that Fernandes did. And especially, like, as a Bruno owner, I was happy, but not captaining made me like a bit worried going to the league.
I don't think there was much to even worry about there, because I mean, if you looked at one of your stats to see, I think a third of all FPL managers put Salah in as captain, right? Yeah. So if we all get affected the same, so we would have eventually had the same rank anyway.
That's true. We would have all been like, the entire template would have gone down.
Exactly. So that wouldn't affect it too much, to be honest.
And then,
but in hindsight, I think I saw that everyone was putting Salah. I thought of Fernandes, and I completely had a brain fart of last year's 6-2 result that they had over Leeds. I thought the 6-2 happened away, and the 0-0 was at home. Because I just remember United having a very bad home record. So if I just followed that, I might have put Fernandes in because how open they do play with Leeds.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then there was Greenwood also, who I got, which was pretty good. He was one of the 7.5 midfield options. I think I kind of nailed it. The next one I think people were looking at were Ben Rama, and I think he also delivered a lot. Someone I had, Ashley Barnes, didn't kind of deliver. I don't think he looked a bit lively, but couldn't deliver. And then again, but then for me, Ashley Barnes I think I'll hold Ashley Barnes because at the moment, I don't know if I want to get anyone else in at the moment. And Ashley Barnes, I think they're playing Norwich in Game Week 3.
You mean Harvey Barnes, yeah? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Harvey Barnes. My bad. Not Ashley Barnes. Why am I saying Ashley Barnes?
It's like one team.
Harvey Barnes, yeah. They're playing Norwich in Game Week 3, so I think I'll hold till then. Because looking at how Liverpool played against Norwich, I think Norwich were pretty good attacking wise, but they left a lot of holes at the back. And yeah, so that's the one bit of like that's the one player I think if in my entire squad, that's the one player I'm a bit worried like he probably won't be there too long. Ings did nothing for the entire game. I don't think he even had a shot in the game.
Yeah, lucky he got the penalty.
And then, and then he had that 94th minute penalty. I was like, but I don't think Aston Villa will be like that because it's just their first game back. Watkins was out injured. I feel that was a bit of a loss because he's the kind of guy who will link everything together as well and press from the front. So we'll see how Watkins is when he's back. The good thing was, so Aston Villa's penalty takers are El Ghazi, but he wasn't on the pitch. So it's kind of like, at least as an Ings owner, it's a bit promising to see Ings taking penalties, which is an interesting thing. But even then, he's probably going to be there till Game Week 3, and then their fixtures go a bit hard. So we'll see. Antonio, the guy had a penalty even and still didn't deliver, but he didn't score the penalty. But he got the assist for Souček's rebound. And I guess Souček is another player we'll have to look into see whether he's back to his old ways now that Lingard is not there.
Yeah, I was watching the West Ham game and that was crazy. They were obviously down. And Callum Wilson was one of the players I had in my initial draft as well. And I was spewing because I'm like, I can't believe I missed out on him. And then I think I went to sleep and I woke up in the morning and watched the score. I was like 4-2, what the hell? And Antonio killing it. So yeah, West Ham, I guess, once again shown that, they are a team to fear with, top 4 prospects. And Ben Rama has now been given a very important role and he's just showing his value. So yeah, I think West Ham, once again, this season, last season was their defense with Cresswell and Soufal. I mean, this season they're going to have a lot more options and varieties in their midfield as well. So
yeah. And then there's Aylin on the bench who had a massive, crazy goal against United. But yeah, he was never going to start anyways for me.
He scored the good goal and then opened the floodgates for United's goals after.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the thing. So for the benefit of the podcast listeners, I have Sanchez in goal, Kufals, Trent, Tsimikas, Shaw at the back, Salah captain, Greenwood, Fernandes, Harvey Barnes, Ings and Antonio. And on my bench, I had Mbeumo, Ayling, Obafemi and Steele. So now let's go on to next manager. 100 points, Abin.
Yeah. So a similar team. I had Feldman as in my starting. Obviously got injured. So White was an auto sub for me. So got a point for that. Arsenal had a shocking game, and I have no hope for them going forward. To be honest. Besides that, similar to yours in the defense. In the end, goalkeeper I went with Bachmann. It was a bit of a difference to everyone else choosing Sanchez, and that is based purely on his form. Following him through the championship, I think the last 7 he had a clean sheets.
They had good defensive features,
and I wasn't so confident on Sanchez. I didn't think Sanchez performed. I mean, to see later, his performance wasn't the greatest, to be honest, on that first game week. So we'll see where Watford goes. They have okay fixtures, so nothing too damaging, hopefully. the rest are similar to yours on the strike force. And the differences in this midfielders, I brought in Son, and that's only in the case of because I knew Kane wasn't going to play, and I hoped that any return would come through Son, and he delivered for me and got the win. So that was one that paid off, because I mean after the first night, and I saw everyone's returns that were coming through for the guys that everyone else was picking, like Greenwood and stuff. I was like, shit, what is Son gonna do?
No, but
and then he delivered for me against City. So happy with that. So yeah.
I really like Son as well. I think Son is a player I've been targeting as well. Obviously, I would not have. I feel like I was a bit too hesitant to start him against City, and also the fact that I couldn't afford him, because I think this midfield template is looking very similar to last year's template in a way. You got the likes of Salah, Fernandes, Son, but then you're going to chew up what $34 million for 3 people.
Yeah,
it's like that's the risk versus reward, and I think it's going to be interesting in terms of are people going to rush and have the first 3, or you're going to have to choose between 2 and 3. But
yeah.
I think a lot of people were looking to get in Son, but not in the first game week.
100%. So that's a pretty good one.
Because there was the City this thing, but the way City played against Leicester, they kind of played very similar against Spurs as well. They were very open defensively, and going forward, they didn't really pose too much of a threat. Like Mahrez did what Mahrez usually does, which is show that he's going to pose a threat and then mess it up in the last shot. And then they have the issues of like De Bruyne wasn't fully fit and back. They don't have a recognized striker. I wonder if now this is going to like increase Kane's value, and Pep's going to go to like, I need this striker, and we'll see what happens on that as well. In that front, we don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, it's only 2 weeks left, isn't there? So
that's the thing.
If something has to happen this week, I think.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Where's Tottenham going to get a replacement? And I was watching, I think, Sky Sports and stuff. It's not that easy to get someone overseas anymore because of Brexit and stuff. You saw how long it took the Varane one to go through,
exactly.
and Lukaku, and it's not as quick as it used to be. So if nothing happens this week, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we'll see what happens on that front, and whether fantasy managers are going to tear up their teams or not. Because now there's a Lukaku also at 11.5 million in the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with regards to that as well. The Trent Tsimikas partnership, I was like looking at the game, and there was that one save that Alisson made. For a moment, I was like, there goes our clean sheet. But yeah, the back 2 of the Liverpool defense came in clutch. There have been some recent trading pictures of Robertson back.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. So today it was released. I'm like, okay, we'll see how long Tsimikas last. He was never going to last for a long time, but at least if he can last the first 3 game weeks, or even the first 2 game weeks, for me, I'm happy. Because I have Aileen, who I'll probably bring in the 3rd game week to play instead.
I didn't see. Did you have Rafinha in yours?
No, I don't have Rafinha.
So that's the other player that I have.
Yeah, that's the other difference.
He had a stinker performance against United. So lucky he even got 1 point. His passing in the final third was horrendous, and hopefully only he goes upward from here.
I think he's a good player that everyone will get eventually, and
100%.
Their fixtures will get better. So so I had a template rating of 90. Abin had a template rating of 85%. Rushan went a bit more differential with a template rating of 77%, which I just checked. Before I go to Rushan's team, for the sake of the podcast, for Spotify. So Abin has Bachmann in goal, Trent, White, Shaw, Tsimikas, Rafinha, Son, Fernandes, Salah captain, Ings, and Antonio. And then Veltman on the bench with Brownhill, Obafemi, and Foster. Now, on to Rushant. He scored 95 points as well. Take it away, Rushant.
Yeah, obviously, looking at your teams, I feel like I did the worst out of the 3 for the opening week, but in retrospect...
Just 5 points.
That's fine. This is how you did last year as well. And then slow start. And then...
Yeah, I actually had a pretty average start, and now with Gundogan injured as well, it's not looking good. So yeah, obviously, Sanchez at the back, again, that 4.5, I wasn't willing to spend more than that for a goalkeeper. I think I'm with you, Ryan, in the sense that I'm a bit worried about my goalkeeper for the rest of the season. I just feel like I'm not going to be settled on Sanchez, especially the way Brighton played, and there's some thinking I need to put behind, choosing the right goalkeeper. I feel like that was one thing from last season where it was so easy that you can start Martinez every game and then not worry about it. Now I think, I'm going to have to start looking at maybe a second keeper and alternate or find a one keeper. But yeah, I just think that my goalkeeper needs a bit of tinkering. Back three with Digne, Trent, and Shaw. I did consider Tsimikas at one point as well. Decided against it purely because of the fact that I had Jota in at one point and I got him out. And anyway, regrets now, but kind of wish I had Tsimikas. Digne, again, Everton conceded a goal, which wasn't helpful. I'm still gonna keep him in just purely for the fact of the fixtures.
And how's his attacking return? Did he have? I didn't watch the Everton game. How did they go?
So I watched Match of the Day, and the Everton game, and the one thing Everton did continuously was just chucking crosses, and with Calvert-Lewin back as well, right? And Richarlison also back. He's bound to eventually get something on there.
Yeah. That's purely the reason why is that DCL is back. So, I'll walk through my attack eventually, but I obviously went with Digne, Trent, and Shaw. So Shaw, again, Trent and Shaw are pretty standard to have now in your defense, following the template. Apart from that, yes, Fernandes and Salah, as Ryan mentioned before, Captain Salah, after watching the Fernandes game, you worried, and I was like, no way. I mean, if Salah gets 1 goal, 1 assist, I'll be happy. Just get double digits, we'll be happy. But Salah, again, proved us wrong and came close enough. Gundogan was kind of a speculative pick in the sense that I wanted to have a City player early on, and seeing how City, I actually thought Keddy was injured as well. So kind of going in, I thought Keddy was not going to play. Turns out he did, which wasn't helpful. And I thought Grealish would come off the bench, which again didn't help. So yeah, I mean, Gundogan's going to be a bit of a weird one for me. I don't know how long it's going to last in my team, especially if he's injured as well.
He's not going to be playing.
Yeah. So that's something I'd look at getting out. And Pascal Gross was, again, something I need to fill in for my price point because I went pretty expensive.
Oh, really?
He did 3 strikers.
He had a good game, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a decent game, had an assist, which is good. Again, I don't think he'll last for too long. So pretty happy with my strikers. Even though Tony didn't deliver points-wise, I watched his game and I'm pretty satisfied with having Tony in for the long run, at least for the next few games.
The next 2 fixtures are pretty good.
Yeah, Antonio and DCL. So DCL, I actually had Ings prior to the game week started, and I think a couple hours before game week started, I saw news that DCL was playing. So I swapped him straight away.
That's smart move.
That helped me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
because I think DCL has better long-term fixtures than Ings.
Oh, look at Richarlison, what he did.
Yeah, and Richarlison as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with my team primarily because of Salah and Fernandes kind of pushed me through, and Antonio. Am I happy with my midfield right now? Probably not. There's some work I got to put around it. I'll probably have a few hits this week actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So early.
We'll discuss that later.
Rush, you should just go straight into a wildcard then.
We'll see. We'll do. Yeah.
Yeah.
On your bench, you got Alien and Amati, both clean sheets. Technically clean sheet points.
Amati was, he played really bad. And there's 1 goal.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play the next game.
Yeah.
No.
I thought you were going to go for 3-5-2, but that's last time.
Yeah. I was thinking about 3-5-2. Just with the budgetary, I just couldn't find a better midfielder to start at the price point. And I wanted to take a bit of a punt on Tony. So it was really that, dropping Tony down to get someone else at that price point, which...
What's the price point you're looking at? Like,
I think it'll probably be around that 5.5 or 6. Yeah.
So Mbeumo looked really good playing against Arsenal. But then again, it's Arsenal. 6 million actually, they were really good price points. Like, so I think Benrahma is 6 million.
Yeah. He's one.
But someone else who really caught my eye was Ismail Sarr from Watford. he looked really lively as well. So he's another one on my watch list.
They're both on my watch list, especially Brandon Rama.
Who else did you like from? Did you like anyone else from Brentford? Just like you were saying, I did like what's his name? Mbuema. And I think
Canos.
Other guy was Canos. Yeah, Canos was the goal scorer. The other one was Pinnock, I think. Pinnock had
I watched the Brentford highlights. Mbuema seems like he's very creative and he's on top, but his finishing doesn't seem like it's on top just yet.
At the best, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Mbuema,
yeah. He has strong runs and then finishing.
He's kind of like a Rafinha in a way that he dribbles the ball and goes in.
He'll probably have heaps of assists or something, but
he'll have probably a lot of chances created and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought
he had like 9 assists or something in the championship, and 8 goals or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so I thought Pinnock was a cheap defense option. If it depends how Brentford go, that's just one game. We'll have to keep seeing how they go. But
exactly. It's too early. So
he had a decent game.
So now, for the people listening on the podcast, so Rushant has Sanchez in goal, Luka Digne, Trent Shaw, Fernandes, Salah captain, Gundogan, Pascal Gross, Antonio, Tony, Calvert-Lewin, and on the bench it's got Amati, Ayling, Brownhill, and Foster, and got 95 points. Even with like your issues in midfield that you're worried about, you still managed to get 95 points, which is pretty good, I would say.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So I don't think it's too much. Well, I guess
I think your team, right Everton, kind of got you through there because of a couple of lower things there.
I think it has potential. Though. Like I'll be worried not owning Calvert-Lewin and Luka Digne, to be honest, with Everton's upcoming features. And I don't own Tony as well. That's another person I have to be kind of worried. They're playing who are they playing? Crystal Palace next?
Yes.
Which is a bit of a worry. So we'll see how that goes.
So it's a bit of a punt for me at the moment, but I'm hoping it pays off.
We'll see. I guess next week we'll know. Yeah. So this week, okay, out of the 10 games, 7 were wins to the home team. And they kind of brought up the whole discussion of is home advantage going to be a thing with fans back in the stadium? So what I did was I went and kind of did some research on the last 3 seasons of the home fixtures. So 2021 was kind of fully no fans. 1920 was a mix of half fans, and then at the latter half there was no fans. 18-19 was completely full of fans. Now the ones I've highlighted in orange were teams that kind of showed a drop off. And the ones not highlighted were teams that kind of either did better or performed exactly similar. And so if you look at here, Tottenham, they kind of remained very consistent on the 3 seasons in terms of their output, even clean sheets, assists, goals, very similar. United kind of shows that they're kind of getting better, which we expect from the team because the team is getting better. So I won't put it too much to the results. I think the home wins dropped significantly for United, but in terms of a fantasy output of clean sheets, goals, everything, they have a trend of getting better.
At home?
At home, yeah. The output is kind of it was 33 in 18-19, 40 in terms of goals in 19-20, and 38 in 2021. So it's very similar. I would expect it to be significantly higher this season, with the team being so much more stronger.
Well, I mean, I don't know how strong. I mean, if you look at their starting lineup, it was not so different from their last starting lineup end of last year, to be honest.
No, but the defense is going to be strong.
Going forward, you hope that the fans coming in gives them some lift at home, because they had a shocking.
So right, these are home goals, yeah? Home advantage.
These are everything is home.
It's all home.
Results.
I mean, last season.
Yeah, this is all home results. Home goals, assists, clean sheets.
I thought last season was just a shocker, but now looking at your stats, it seems to be quite consistent over the last couple of years. And I'm not sure why that is.
I think in terms of wins and losses, it was a shocker. In terms of fantasy output, I think the United last season, they had a lot of very close 1-0 losses, or losses by a goal. Or they had a lot of draws as well, United.
Yeah.
So that's kind of this thing. But in terms of output for a fantasy player, they kind of delivered very similar, or they were getting better. So this season, as fantasy owner of United assets, you expect them to be even more better than last season stuff. But like teams like, so look at this, like Liverpool, right?
Yeah,
Liverpool
that seems that caught my eye straight away was Liverpool.
Yeah. Look at that. 55 goals in 18-19, 52 in 19-20, and then just 29 in 2021.
Yeah. I mean,
now, that's partially due to lack of fans, because I think the fans play a huge part in Liverpool, and the cop just pushes them on. Also, the loss of Van Dijk. That's, I think, so the stuff that stats don't tell is the scenarios that the teams were in.
Yeah.
Liverpool didn't have Van Dijk. That could have played a huge part on
Wolves
how
didn't
they
have
go
Jimenez
forward.
As well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Chelsea had
Wolves
a new
didn't
manager.
have Jimenez.
Arsenal was just Arsenal.
The Arsenal have been Arsenal, and it's a continuous decline, which the stats are kind of showing. So we'll see what happens in that. Burnley, very evident here. Look at that, 24-24, 14 in the... I don't know, Burnley just dropped off a cliff. Especially in terms of clean sheets, they kind of like dropped off. Chelsea in terms of clean sheets kept very similar. Goals conceded, they conceded a bit more. When they had the fans, they conceded only 12. Another thing to consider is like these were different managers as well, right, for Chelsea. So there are a few things that you kind of need to take into consideration when looking at the stats. I think at least my personal thing is home advantage will be a thing for the first few game weeks before it reverts back to the norm. Everton dropped off, kind of. Who else dropped off? Wolves, we knew because Jimenez wasn't there. City dropped off as well, which I guess also because they didn't have a proper recognized striker last season. So yeah, there's a few things to kind of consider in terms of will home advantage play a part? Probably might play a part is my assumption.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it play out for a bit just to see how it goes. To be honest,
I'm just very shocked by Liverpool stats. Even the assists total from 33-41 to only 14.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just like everything just drops off a cliff for Liverpool, except for the goals considered increases as well, which is worse.
Yeah, so Liverpool was a big, so obviously the Van Dijk injury. Yeah, I mean it's very interesting.
Someone not on this list is Brentford because they didn't have any history.
Yep.
Leeds are at the bottom because it's only one season. And I think this season Leeds will improve because it's the first time their fans are going to be back in the Premier League. Even though they were there last season, the fans weren't there. And that's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, agreed.
Aston Villa, this shows that they got better because after they got promoted, they tried to improve. So we'll see what happens with Jack Grealish this season. But yeah, that's basically the other teams are very similar. Something that can play a part is sometimes home fans can be a good thing and a bad thing as well. Because when your team is under pressure and like not performing well, there is a possibility for home fans to like turn on you.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will happen at the opening game weeks because the fans will be really boosted.
Yeah.
Like the United game, I feel like the fans were already really hyped up, and then the added cheat sheet of announcing Varane just before the game.
What a thing that was.
Yeah, kind of boosted the whole morale and probably the team's morale as well. But that's not going to happen every week. But like, I think that's a key part as well to play. So there are external factors we probably need to consider when making.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Game week 2, we'll see whether home advantage plays a huge part. What do you guys think?
It's still early for me to say, to be honest. That's really good info that you've put together.
Yeah. I think it'll play a big part this season. The stats prove it as well. Right in front of us, and it's huge. Like they're back at full capacity. London's going crazy. The atmosphere is back. People are, and that's a big thing for football players is having that. Home courts, like home advantage support, is a huge thing. And footballers are a bit of a showboaters as well at times. So having thousands of people watching them Rabona pass or whatever it is, it gets them going. So I think it will play a big part, and that's something which is going to be different compared to last season. So
so that's how we'll have to see. It could play a huge part in terms of attacks and also defense as well.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes. Now, moving on. This is just game week 1's data. These were the teams that had the worst defense in terms of. So it's sorted by expected goals conceded non-penalty. Newcastle had the worst defense, followed by Southampton, then Spurs, West Ham, Burnley, Liverpool, Leicester, Norwich, Leeds, and then right there at the bottom, Chelsea, which we kind of expect from Chelsea at this point. Watford, so the choice of Bachmann wasn't too bad, could have paid off. Wolves, United, Everton, choice of Luca Digne could be a possibility, and then obviously Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. So in terms of this will come back to like the whole captaincy shout and everything. So like Newcastle, obviously probably a team to target. Who's playing Newcastle this week?
Not too sure.
Let me check. I completely forgot. Pictures. Newcastle. Oh, Aston Villa. So Danny Ings, Aston Villa, probably someone to look into. If you have him, keep him. Could be a good fixture. Should you captain him? Probably we'll have to wait and see, because next on that list is Southampton. Bruno Fernandes playing against the Southampton defense that just lost Vestergaard.
Yep.
There's still the whole debate of, do you captain Bruno or do you captain Salah? Salah is playing in front of the Kop, and we've just now discussed home advantage. Will home advantage play a key part for Salah to be captain and deliver points against a Burnley team that's also in that top 5 of expected goals conceded?
It's one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to captain whoever's playing second game and not worry about the first.
So that's Bruno.
Yeah,
Salah's playing the opening kickoff game.
Want to be motivated by the other.
So Liverpool's playing the first game, obviously.
There's a lot going in.
Yeah. Obviously, Liverpool's home.
Yeah.
That's a big factor. But how can you not look? We can't, again, it's stats show about Southampton, who pretty much lost half their team.
Yeah.
How can you stay away from Fernandes? And interestingly, I have another choice in Pogba as well, which we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean...
But is Pogba going to play as attacking? Because against Leeds, I think they played the two pivot of Fred and McTominay, and Pogba played as left wing.
I think...
Against Southampton, do you need to play Pogba
But
left
the thing
wing?
is, coming back from a game where guys pretty much carried the team in the sense
on fire.
of 4 assists, well, I don't see any sense in dropping him back, straight away.
Is that the position he plays in France?
No. He plays in a 2 with Kante. And I think there's another midfielder, I don't remember. But then you have Kante, right? You have world-class CDM right behind you. Pogba doesn't have to I think Pogba's form of those 4 assists should be expected the way he played the Euros.
Yeah.
Because on the Euros, he was on fire. So that's kind of expected. Like, his performance was expected. 4 assists probably not expected, but his performance that he did was kind of expected. So that's something to consider.
I see no reason why Pogba is going to step back, because
no, I probably
there's
won't.
There's no Rashford yet. Still injury, so the attack.
The only thing is Sancho. That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, until the point where Sancho starts.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he'll start again next game. He'll probably be eased into it.
Okay.
I think Pogba at 7.5 is a pretty good shout.
Now 7.6.
Now 7.6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you have Pogba, I would keep him. Whether it's a toss, if it's a toss between Pogba and Greenwood, I'll probably go Greenwood though. Slightly edged. But Greenwood does come with his risk of rotation.
Yes.
And Pogba doesn't.
I think, who is the risk of rotation with? Because I think Cavani is not fit yet. Who else? Who else is
Martial is at risk.
Martial, Sancho.
No, Sancho would.
I think Greenwood is starting.
Sancho wouldn't play that.
Well, it's really hard when Daniel James played, right?
Yeah. That's what I think. Sancho will come up for Dan James, and Pogba might still play that left wing role. That might still happen. So we'll see how it goes.
But, look, all of this will just be interesting to see when Varane comes in. I've read a lot of things of United's shape changing once Varane comes in because of his skill set, and the reason why we do have 2 CDMs right now. We might not need that in the future with Varane and his speed and all that. So that whole shape might just change with one CDM and
it might become even like a three in the back, like Chelsea play.
Like that
could be. We'll have to see how it goes.
Which is why they're rushing exactly. Shaw will go up.
Yeah,
that's why they're looking for the right back as well, right? Because Wan-Bissaka is not up to that point, like
that attacking standard. Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think they are looking for that formation change and more so to fit what the other teams are doing. Having the elite wing backs and a solid 3 in the back. So I'm very excited to see Varane as well.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So now the teams to have, right? The teams that performed well. West Ham right up there. This is sorted by XG non-penalty. There's also shots in the box, big chances created, and also expected goals. So West Ham right on top. Everton right below that. And like I told you, they just spam those crosses, man. So Luka Digne is probably a good option still to hold with Calvert-Lewin back. City, as expected, with City now playing two promoted sides or 2 really good fixtures upcoming next, I think.
Norwich and...
They're probably someone to have.
Who's that?
Newcastle. Go ahead.
Who did you say? Who's that?
They're playing Norwich.
Norwich. Yeah. And then Newcastle, Joe Willock just signed, confirmed. They have a really good attack. Probably not the best defense, but with Joe Willock, maybe possibility. Brighton up there as well. I wouldn't read too much in it because it was Burnley. Right at the bottom, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa will improve. Watching that as a Danny Ings owner, not as best, but then again, you're looking at...
You'll play Ings and Watkins?
I assume Watkins might be fit to start the next game.
I'm saying, would they play both of them?
Oh, that's actually a good question. I think that is something...
Because they didn't do that last year. Last year they had Watkins, right? And maybe... I don't think they'll play twice.
But I don't know if you can... Like, both of them are too good to keep one on the bench. That's the problem. So, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
see.
Seems that they have City's problem. And they'll have to rotate.
Not all over the pitch, though. And then Leicester at the bottom. Vardy scored a great goal, but they didn't do much. Leeds right there as well.
Interesting to see with Leicester. What's Iniacho's position now? Or how they're going to be using him.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Something interesting is, look at that. Arsenal, 13 shots inside the box. If you have Emil Smith-Rowe, maybe you can kind of hold and see what they do against Brentford. I mean, if they lose
did you have Smith-Rowe, did you?
Yeah, I got rid of him after.
Yeah, he did.
I had him at one point. You're right.
Yeah.
But I saw him. He had a couple of good chances, right?
He did.
The ball.
He did. Yep.
Alone by himself. So I think he looks like he's playing the number 10 position.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even though it's 13 shots inside the box, it's 0 big chances.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they do. Someone else that pops up here is Wolves. I'm very interested to see how Raul Jimenez, if he can get into form.
Yeah.
He has a couple good fixtures upcoming soon.
So you guys watch Traore miss the sitter?
No.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
He's such a beast when he's running. Jeez, I mean, how big he is. Who would want to mess with him?
That's probably why the high XG right there.
Yeah. But he was like that last season as well. He had so much potential to, carry the team last season without Jimenez, and he was playing like striker. But I just don't think he's up to that level. He's just a bit overhyped, I would say. So Wolves is interesting.
We'll see. I think I'm looking at Jimenez, but not now itself. We'll see how they get into this thing. And then, so now we've seen the defenses, we've seen the attacks in terms of teams. Let's have a look at the players. Antonio right on top of that. This is sorted by XGI, so expected goal involvement. Antonio right on top. And he looked lively, right? So it kind of like proves on the stats as well. He looked really lively. He had 3 big chances, 3 shots inside the box. Obviously, if you remove the expected goals, he had 1.49, but if you remove the non-penalty, it goes down. But even then, the goal involvement is pretty high. Nogard, I don't know. He has a high XGI here, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
Brentford?
I have no idea who Nogard is. Yeah, that's Brentford. Have a look. Callum Wilson up there. Calvert-Lewin that Rushant has also. Right on top there. 1 big chance and 5 shots in the box, which is promising because he is like probably the most in terms of shots inside the box there. Vardy right at the bottom over there.
Noga's the guy who scored the goal. FYI. He's the other one.
Canos. Okay.
Canos and Noga.
Did Noga
Okay.
score? Was it him?
Yeah.
Is that Canos?
Oh, he did.
Noga?
He did the second
Noga
goal.
is the other guy. So,
Second
Yeah.
goal. Oh, okay. There we go. Interesting. Very high XG.
I know Liverpool plays in here.
Firmino right
right.
at the bottom.
Okay.
Salah not on here, but then again, I think Salah, watching from the eye test, watching him, he improved once Firmino came on.
and did you see Salah's assist was just kind of a fluke? Do you know what I mean? His first assist was
The one to Firmino or the previous one?
the
first one was a fluke.
It
Yeah.
was a fluke. Yeah, the first one.
I mean, he didn't control
He
it
didn't
properly.
know what was
And
happening.
Jota
He
just
just
bounced
went to Jota straight away. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Luckiest
We're,
guy.
we're not complaining. Got the
I'm not
points.
complaining.
Yeah, we're
but
not
I'm
complaining.
just
We take
saying.
everything.
Except, see, that's the problem here. We should be complaining because it's Liverpool and we don't want them to do well. But now now we're saying it's okay.
As 3 United fans, we're saying, yeah, it's fine for Salah to
Come
get a
on.
fluke.
Brain versus heart. No.
Never captaining Salah anymore than Tyson.
Yeah, we done.
Yeah, then there goes your rank down.
I'm captaining Pogba next game.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I was watching the Liverpool game and Salah scored. I was like celebrating here.
Yeah.
And United fans like,
Fantasy
oh
does
my
that
god,
to you.
what has?
It's so bad.
I know, yeah. Bruno Fernandes is on that table. Interestingly, 2 big chances, 3 shots inside the box. 3 shots inside the box, all 3 goals.
It's good clinical finishes.
Paul Pogba also up there, which he had that one really good chance that he was sent through by Greenwood,
Yeah.
and he scuffed it. He could have had 4 assists and 1 goal, and then Abim would have been like, "Why did you take Pogba off the manager's team?" But like, yeah. So anyone here who steps out for you?
I think in terms of people who I think is a bit overrated here is probably Mopé and Traore, and maybe even Torres. And reasons for that is Mopé came off the bench, scored a goal, and again a Brighton team, which I don't think has any high prospects of high-scoring games. Traore, because of the fact that he hasn't proved himself just yet. I just don't think even though he's $6 million, we have much better options at $6 million, which we just talked about. And Torres, because of the fact that it's City, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be rotation risk.
Well, I'll be interested in Suchek there because now that
exactly.
now that
he's right there
now that old mate Lingard has gone back. He's already returned in the first game without him. So and he's gone back to the way we knew him.
He's like he's a multi-dimensional player.
I know.
The role where he's
so
playing,
Lingard ruins him having him in the team, but So
even the goal he came off the rebound, he got to the ball so quickly. He was the first one, obviously.
And he was one reason that I had a good run last year. And then Lingard just messed it all up coming in, and I didn't have him. So he'll be one to watch if Lingard doesn't make a move over in the next couple of weeks to West Ham.
Yeah, that's the thing. 6.
Well, look at
6 million
even
over.
Pulisic, right? You never know how Chelsea's going to go, and he's itching for a big year with that reputation and stuff, and that
maybe
team
the addition of Lukaku might help him.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I feel like that's the big thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for Mount to actually have a good.
Yes, exactly. He's not on this list, but he's also someone who could improve with Lukaku there. Because all those chances created that Timo Werner misses, Lukaku is going to put them away. Yeah. So that's the thing. I think Chelsea players, someone to look at, especially like when their fixtures turn. I think I'll be looking onto them. Now, talking about fixtures, let's get on to the season ticker. This is for the next 4 games. Brentford still up there. Rushant with Ivan Toney shouldn't be too worried about it.
Captaining him
They
this
have a
week.
really good run.
Him.
Captaining him.
joking. No, I'm joking.
And then Man City right below. Someone, well, I guess I don't know who you want in Man City. We'll see how it goes. Something to keep in note is after game week 3, there's the international break. So kind of have to keep that in note.
What's that break for? What's the next tournament? Qualifiers again?
I don't know why they have that international break, but like, okay, what to do?
Is there all teams playing that, or it'll just be a few
international break? So this is the thing, right? That this upcoming international break is going to be kind of different because I think with COVID restrictions and everything, there are a few nations that England have put in red alert in terms of whether they have to come back and quarantine. So I think we probably have to keep an eye out on some of our players to see whether they'll have to be come back in, like they'll have to quarantine for and will they be out for like 2 weeks or something? We'll see. No, not 2 weeks. I think it's 5 days or something in England.
Yeah.
So will they miss the game week 4? Something to have a look into that. And I think they've changed the schedule of South American tournaments or AFCON. I'm not sure which one, where it's going to be on a Friday, like Friday night or something, or Friday early morning or UK time, which means for the players to get back in time, will they be fit enough to be playing game week 4? Something I think we'll have to do during the international break. I'll try and find out more about that, but that's something to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tottenham on 3rd, Wolves right there as well, Watford, Everton, United, Brighton, Liverpool, Aston Villa. Right at the bottom, Chelsea still there, Norwich, Southampton, Leicester. So yeah, Chelsea, Lukaku is in the game, but I think we wait till Chelsea's fixtures kind of turn better. And also, I don't think we have the money at the moment to be able to.
I mean, looking at Spurs, I'm actually seriously considering wildcarding. I don't even know why.
What? How did we start this episode with you thinking I'm going to take a hit and now end up with wildcarding? What?
I just know. I mean, while this episode's going, I've kind of like rethought my team, and I'm just like,
Let's go back to your team here. So you have Gundogan and Pascal. You'll probably get rid of Gundogan, right?
Yeah.
Not probably. You might get rid of Gundogan, right? So 7.5 million. You can bring in, right? You probably can bring in. I mean, United have some good fixtures. You can do a straight swap to Greenwood if you want
Greenwood,
to.
Yes.
Or Pogba. You can. Who else is here? Ismail Sarr is not a too bad of an option with Brighton.
No, the only player who's really concerning me right now, I'm not having my team, is Son. That's the one I'm a bit worried about. Against the Wolves, Watford.
How do you bring in Son?
Yeah.
You can't really bring in Son, can you?
Yeah, that's the fix I'm at. Oh, look, don't worry. I'll figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah, but then Son's fixtures are like
amazing.
I think the first 4 are good. It gets worse after game 5.
Yeah, true.
So you need to kind of consider whether, okay, it's just 3 game weeks. I think it's going to be insane.
Exactly. I just don't want those 3 to be the game changer for me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, okay. I think Rushan is going to have a lot of thinking to be doing this next 2 days.
You probably see me minus 24, guys. Just FYI.
All right. Let's go into any thoughts on the season ticker?
No, just still early days.
What are your thoughts going ahead? Like, so Rishant is clearly looking into transfers. Abin, are you trying to save your transfer?
I'm looking to save a transfer, but I wanted to go with 2 free transfers next week because I thought I had a solid team. But the fact that Veltman isn't playing has changed that for me because the only option I have to change is to White, and they're playing Chelsea, are they? Yeah. So I have no confidence in any result for them on that. So if I go a back 3 and then I go 5 in the midfield, I only have Brownhill. So my subs bench is not strong. It's not active players. Yeah. So, if I had Veltman, no change at all. So I'm going to watch closely to see how his progress goes coming close to the weekend. And then I'm not too sure actually what I'll be doing because if I...
There were quite a few cheap defenders on show as well. I think Wolves had a 4 million defender, if I'm not mistaken. They're right back, Hover or someone. Yeah. So have a look into it. There are probably a few good cheap options if you want to. I'm not too convinced by White as well. After having Roy on last week, and he was like, Arsenal defense is pretty shit.
Yeah.
I was like,
no.
Okay,
I think I mentioned about it as well. We're talking about White, and I kind of said that there's a lot of overhype on him. And he was one player. I mean, Arsenal defense is one I would never ever rely on.
I swear, Rush, I swear that when we spoke last time, you were canvassing for White, and I think I got onto that. And now here you are talking shit. But I agree with all of that.
I mean, I do have hope for Arsenal, not in their defense. I do have hope for Arsenal. So, I mean, I'm not writing off their midfield and attack just yet. I said White as in you can have him as a 5th defender, as a 4.5, yes, because he's a guy you'd start every week. And in the off chance some of your defenders are injured or just don't play for whatever reason, he'll be your backup option in the sense of having a $4.5 million in the bench. I don't think I said I'll start him every week if I had White. But look, Arsenal again, I know they got smashed. I still have hopes for their midfield, for the likes of Smith Rowe and stuff. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, price changes. Let me actually change this a bit because I kind of need to bring up the price changes. I need to change this slightly to where is that? I hope I'm on the right page. We will see. Oh yeah, this is the right page. So price change. Let me see if it reflected. Yes, it did. Nice. So Benrahma looks like he's gonna have a price rise. Alonso right behind there. I wouldn't worry too much for Alonso.
When is this happening? Tonight?
Looks like tonight. Yeah,
Jesus.
for Benrahma. Before we go into that, let's look at who. So Antonio's had a price rise. Tsimikas has had a price rise. Fernandes, Pogba, and Richarlison have also had a price rise. Aubameyang, Pepe, Daka, Lanzini, William, and Ziyech have had a price fall. Now, in terms of looking like going up, is Benrahma and Alonso at the moment. Salah is getting close to that. Pinnock is also getting close to that. And Calvert-Lewin as well. Pogba, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how tomorrow it reflects as well. But Benrahma looks the closest. In terms of price fall, Havertz, Minamino, Cavani, Lacazette, Martial, Kane, Iheanacho, Sancho also by the looks of it. Who else? Watkins. So these are like the price falls. That's looking like it.
Well, I'm glad that Kane's price is dropping. I hope it does drop.
That's
Makes
fine.
it be interesting.
Actually, it helps us a bit more better. I mean, continue to drop, please. Thank you.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are the price changes at the moment. We will see how it's going to progress. Yeah, Benrahma right now looking like...
Interesting, you got Tsimikas is there again and Antonio's already there. So they've already had their price rise.
Yeah, but this is at... Yeah, I don't think they'll get another price rise within the next 2 days.
Right.
They are on top of this, but I don't think... Sorry. Okay, now there we go. It looks better. Simkas was making more progress in terms of price rise, but nah. Sun is there. He's 45% there, but we'll see. Roshan's consideration of Sun, we'll see what happens.
Oh, you mean Son? Oh.
We'll see.
That was a tough one. I think my midfield was very similar to Ryan's before, and then it was a last minute thing to bring Son in. I just it is more for the long term future. I didn't expect much against City.
They have Chelsea, Arsenal, and Aston Villa after that in Game Week 5. So we'll see.
And I believe in their coach. I like their coach, to be honest. I like what he did with Wolves. So.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Up next, so that's the price changes. Any thoughts on that?
Nothing surprising.
No? Okay.
Same as expected.
Okay. Cool. Let's go into the mini leagues. So let me get into mini leagues before I do that. Let me turn this back on. So this is the Football Chatbox League. You can see the code right below on our video. So do join the league. Oh no, I have the wrong code on there. Okay. You can see the new code will be put in the description. So do join the new code. What actually is my new code? I need to check on that. I'll check on that. But the new code will be in the description. If you're watching this, I'll put it in the comments as well in the video. Do join the mini league. We've got 25 right now there. 6 players over 100. And the remaining, there are 14 in total over 90, which is pretty sick. Jiten right on top at 106 points. And let's just have a look at his team. He had Trent, Shaw, Tsimikas, Mbeumo, Greenwood, Salah, Fernandes, Antonio, Ings, and Wilson. So not a bad team as well. Very similar to most of our teams as well, I guess.
Who's that?
This is the guy on top of our Football Chatbox League right now. So yeah, we will see how it goes. I'll probably every week, every time we do the podcast, we'll look at who got the highest points for that game week in our league. And we'll have a look at their team as well. Pretty good team so far. Very similar to everyone's, I would say. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And then another league is This is the one we have within us, which is he's also on top of that same thing. We have how many here? We have 32 with 33 about to come, and 16 with 90 and above, 19 with like 80 and above. So it's a pretty strong week for a lot of people. Yeah. So we'll see how we go. Very interesting to do. Something I thought to have a look was the captaincies in that league. Not in the football chat, but let's look at the first one, because a lot of people went with Bruno captain as well over Salah. So there were 3, 4, 5, 6 Bruno captains, 1 triple captain. But yeah, we will see how
captain for game week 1.
That's what. I mean, not a bad return, right?
Jesus.
I'm happy. I'll be happy with that.
With the Fernandes triple captain.
What a
I mean, it sucks that he didn't get more than 103 points, but
that's
still.
the thing. That's
well, let's assess that when we go and do ours. We probably do it in a
2 points
in a double. We hope that it comes to in a double game week.
We'll see.
Remember last year when we did it, we put it on Kane, and Kane only played 1 game, but he did well.
I remember that game very well. What do you call? And so this is just my point, right? I'm currently ranked. Wait, who's it? This is Rushant. Okay, Rushant is 95 points, right? And to get into the top 100K, it's like 12 points ahead of you at the moment. And the 1 million is right there, 12 points, 2 points below. So we'll see how it goes. This is an interesting thing to look into. We'll see how every week how we perform. And now finally, to end it off, we have something to discuss in terms of combined FPL Managers League, which probably also needs a transfer, I would assume. Let me bring it on this. So this is the combined FPL Managers team. We got 75 points. Kind of shows that we went quite differential and didn't really pay off.
You should have kept at least Pogba.
I know.
You guys,
I know. We could have just left Pogba in there.
One game week off, and we messed up the team for him.
Yeah, you messed it up.
So,
I think I might have missed the part you guys went with Pickford. That is a strong price.
Because of the fixtures and price. Not too bad. Looking at Everton's up.
How did Dallas go? 1 point, is it?
5 points.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah, the assist
Did he have the assist? Yeah.
Yeah, for Erling's goal.
He was playing defense actually in that game, wasn't he? He wasn't in the midfield.
After, I think, the substitute.
After the substitute came on, and then he moved to the midfield.
He always moves around a lot. That's the thing. He's so versatile.
I mean, our bench, look at our bench. 6, 5, 6. Could have just replaced our backline with that bench.
Okay, so what are we doing for next game week?
Looks like Gundogan out, right?
Gundogan out, right? So this is where we make that kind of like transfer. We have 1.5 in the bank, by the way.
I can't even believe you didn't even use your full allocation. Oh.
We can
Come on, Rush.
do 2 transfers to get in.
We were smart about this. We thought we'll keep some because we wanted to bring in Son. So.
So does that mean we do a 2 transfer and bring in Son?
Or we can do it straight to Mahrez, so that we don't have to do that. Or we can bring in Son somehow, yes.
So who do we bring? We go back to the fixture ticker, right? City have the best, but I don't think Mahrez is a good option because I think he's going to get benched soon now that De Bruyne is back. Son is the next one with at least the next 3 looks good.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are your thoughts, everyone?
Well, I've got Son in my team, so I wouldn't complain with Son. But like I think I was telling Ryan earlier, this kind of team is a team that we would think shouldn't really be perfect aligned to the teams that we do have. Then it loses the point of it. It should go with those extreme, case that it would be. It's like taking a punt on something that we. Be worth it. It's like a dark horse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually inclined to look towards some Chelsea players, purely for the fact that I don't think anyone's going to have them at least for the next few weeks.
Yeah,
and they have some decent fixtures coming through, don't they? Nope, never mind.
Arsenal, Liverpool are the next 2.
Ooh.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Tottenham.
Yeah, well, again, it's tough games, but you never count them out. They had good results last year against any of the top 4. But who would you pick? I mean, who is in the midfield now, right? What's the Pulisic, Jorginho,
Mount?
Is Ziyech playing?
Yes, but I think Ziyech, Mount is a better probably Tuchel prefers Mount, I think, better.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if it's a Chelsea midfielder, I think Mount is probably the one we should target. Only for the fact that he'll play every game, and he's playing in a very attacking role. But if not, we can just look at
Yeah. So what do we do?
Let's have a look at the midfield options to see what we have.
Midfielders, here we go.
I mean, we could bring in. We already have a couple of cheap defenders. We're happy with that. Are we thinking someone sort of a premium midfielder? Sorry.
Maybe. Yeah. Or you could go, premium midfielder. So the only premium midfielder right now is Heung-min Son. Or you could go slightly different and try another midfielder, a cheap midfielder, with a premium to come in game week 3 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like we could try even... See, we spoke about Liverpool having some attacking returns. I wouldn't mind taking a punt on Jota or something, just... We talked about their home games, which they're playing next couple of games at home.
Apart from Chelsea.
That's at home. Yeah, I know, but I think we just, coming back to that home, I really want to test that home advantage theory, right? In that game against Chelsea as well, you'd probably think that Liverpool are favourites to win in front of a home crowd. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a punt on a double Liverpool midfield. That's at the price point, it kind of makes sense. Or we could go for Greenwood, but I mean, you already have Greenwood.
Or we could also try Souček.
Yeah.
Souček is not... what are the two fixtures?
Leicester, but then after that there's Crystal Palace, Southampton, then United.
Yeah. I mean, we could go Souček and then look to upgrade into Son at some point as well, because we'll have a bit more money. Look to upgrade someone else by downgrading on the midfield.
What did everyone think of Grealish first game?
Actually, that's a good point. Because I think Grealish, he's going to start, right? He's definitely going to play.
He's got £100 million, you think so, right?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he integrates with De Bruyne as well there.
They legit paid £100 million for 38 games, so it's about $2 million per game if you think about it.
He didn't look that great, but we know Grealish's quality, and he is capable of doing craziness. And looking at City's upcoming next fixtures, right? Norwich, Aston Villa, Leicester, and Southampton, not too bad.
Yep.
Leicester probably the only tough team in that entire set.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So I think so, right?
Yeah.
You just hope that you just don't know what Pep roulette work is going to work. What do you think? When is De Bruyne scheduled to come back?
He played quite a few minutes last game week, so I would assume he'll be eased into it probably, and maybe against Arsenal he'll be back fully.
Yeah. Well, we hope that Grealish is starting, right?
And this is Norwich. Norwich are pretty bad defensively as well, so don't mind taking a punt.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Let's go for it. I'm happy with that.
Okay. All right. So Grealish, like for like, City replacement in there. We'll see how Grealish does.
Yeah.
Let's make the transfer. Who are we captaining?
How long is Gundogan out for, by the way?
It's a shoulder injury. I don't know. It's not positively confirmed whether he's going to be out or not. You might have to monitor the reports and see what probably Pep also says in his conference. If it looks like he's going to have a price fall, I would take him out rather than take the price fall.
Yeah, because I'm thinking we have Tsimikas in the bench. We have some decent... we could also look at just moving him to starting lineup. In place of
I probably won't
Soufal.
start Soufal, to be honest.
Yeah, that looks a bit more...
Yeah.
Makes a bit more sense. Yep.
So who do we place the captaincy on? Keep it like this? Or?
It's a Salah versus Fernandes debate every week we're going to have, for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
It's
it's not a bad...
It's away to Southampton, eh? Yep.
It's better to have two players as a captaincy option than like multiple players.
Sure.
But then multiple players means less rank decrease or increase. So I don't know. It depends. Yeah. So who are we?
I'm happy with Salah.
Look, I think Salah is he's probably going to be mine as well in my own thing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Salah, it is for all of us. And the team has been saved. We will see how this team does. I think Tsimikas comes in instead of Sufal. Sufal on the first sub bench. Amati, I don't think he's going to play. I'm happy with the rest of the defense as well. So we'll see how it goes. Not too bad fixtures as well for our forward line. So we'll see how they perform. Yep. But yeah, that is basically the combined managers team. If you reached, so this is basically the end. Join the league, join the Football Chatbox League. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rushan. Thank you, Abin. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the follow button if you've been watching us on Twitch. Hit the subscribe button as well. And on YouTube. And yeah, 75 subscribers is the next goal. We'll see how we go. Thank you all. Peace.
See you guys.
Thanks.